Hi, and thank you for joining me today for another beautiful energetic support and activation session transmission for the collective. I've seen some interesting energies today. It was all about stabilizing the base of our pyramid so we can add another layer to it. Now, let me explain in more clearly what I mean by that. So, for a lot of us, we've been into a spiritual path for some times now, and we came from a different background. Like me, per se, I was a construction worker, and now I've been meditating, working with energies for many years now, and growing spiritually, integrating new ideas and the likes. And for some of us who come from a very three-dimensional space, it can feel that this is it, right? We can start thinking that perhaps we're meant to be an energy worker or teach yoga or meditation. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What I'm getting at is for some of us, this is not the last stop. It was just the base for everything else that's going to be built on top of that. So before I move to what these other layers are, so if you think of building your foundation, and as we're building our foundation spiritually, we're expanding our consciousness, our awareness, and we are integrating new ideas, concepts, techniques, routines, all the likes, right? All of it. And while we're doing that, that means that the base is kind of like water. It's still moving. It's not set yet, right? Because we're building it, we're working on it. What I saw with this transmission today is actually solidifying this base. So, yeah, so it's sturdy. So, whatever we're going to be building on top of it, it's not going to collapse. Now, I saw that a lot of the things, like imagery that I had, was like stairs being built and like that things solidifying. But also, if you think of when we're studying something, right? So we think a lot, right? We put a lot of effort about learning these things, these new symbols, whatnot, and like this new knowledge. So it takes time. And eventually, as we start really mastering it, we don't really have to think about it anymore. And that's what I saw. There's a lot of the spiritual basis as it solidifying. It kind of goes back into our subconscious and it's freeing our mind to receive other types of information. So just like driving a car at first, like, oh, I need to put the blinker, like, like everything is, we overthink in some ways until we get familiar with driving a car and then it just comes naturally. So yeah, so think about, I don't want to say like doing spirituality, but think about your spiritual basis, everything you've been learning in the last few years and integrating. Now that it's ready, it's integrating into your subconscious, so it's making room for something else. So, what is this something else? Just like I said, like when we think of spirituality and we awaken to that, uh, it can seem that, oh my God, like I'm here to be a light worker, obviously, or maybe I'm here to be like teaching yoga or meditation or hold space at a retreat center, like everything spiritual, correct? For some of us, this is not the final destination. Another destination, and this is what I saw in the collective energies, is some of us now are about to step out into a different sphere of society. Some of us are about to be starting to interact with people from the scientific community and take an active role there with just a strong spiritual foundation. Another example would be all of a sudden picking up music. Like, yeah, it was nice to do all this spiritual stuff, but I just really want to make art right now. And of course, now you're making art, perhaps you're making beautiful drawings or you're sharing music. but still the frequencies behind it are completely different because of your spiritual basis is solid, right? So essentially, we've done some spiritual work for some times. We've cleared, we have solidified our base, and now we can allow for another section to go on top of it and move up in a different echelon of society. And that's going to be looking different for every one of us according to our paths. I don't know all of you, so but this is essentially what this energetic support and activation transmission is about, is to help with this anchoring these frequencies, solidifying, and yeah, helping you in that space. Another thing that I saw too is because we are freeing our mind from a lot of the stuff like we've been dealing with in the last few years, now that it's clearing out, or a few weeks or months, or I don't know what your timeline is, but now that we like everything is going back into a more subconscious feel, like just driving a car, we don't have to think about it. It's freeing ourselves to again integrate new symbols, and this there was some part of integration helping with the integrations of yeah, the integration of new symbols, and that's going to be different for all of you. So I guess to be more explicit again, think of symbols like receiving a new type of information, being guided somewhere that you haven't been guided to previously, perhaps starting to interacting with social circles that was not available to you before, and therefore receiving a new type of information. That's what I mean by receiving new symbols, is your surrounding is about to change and take another form, and to allow yourself to transit organically. So this is very exciting. I'm super happy. I really hope you enjoyed this transmission. And if you haven't already done so, I invite you to sit somewhere quiet, have a few breaths, calm down, and enjoy this transmission. My name is Isabel, and talk to you soon. Energies for the collective, please. Going to be working on our foundations, the structures that supports everything else we do. Siti kianali atra, kianali atra, siti anali etre, otere kianali etre, uvela nalakayateli etre, siti kianali atra, sakayanali etre, kianali atra, osete kuntre, yavarkayantara etre, osse siti kianali etre, mayanali etre, osse tukuntra atra, ayakayanali etre, osse tikianali atra, kayanali etre, otra, Satakayanali etre, kianali etre, kayanali atra, kayanali etre, oseti kianali etre eti. Mayanali atra, oseti kianali atra, satakayanali etre, kiineli etre, oseti kienteli atra. Untari kuntara satakayanali etre sitikianali atara utte ayakayanali etreoseti kiinali etreoseti kuntara mayanali etreukianali etrekianali etre satakayanali etre untalakayanali etre usiti kiinali etre ata Sata kayanali etre siti kienali etre kayanali etre usse tutra kanta mayanale hatra ushi untre siti untra kantala ata seti kuntele etre utte siti unta kayanali etre siti kienali etre uta kayanali etre sata kayanali etre kienali etre utra kayantala ata makayandali itri utre siti kianali atra Asata kayanali etriutala kaintala atra siti untra kayanali etrishiti kianali atra sata kayanali etriute kiintili iti utre antara atra sata kantara atra akayanali etriutre siti kiineli etri sata kayanali etriusiti kianali atra akayanali etriusiti kiintili etri sata kayanali etri unta Ussetikianali atrakieteri utrakayanali etriussi wakayanali etri utrakietana atraesetikianali etri satakayanali etri utrakayanali etriussetikianali etriussetakantala atra yikietali etri utrikientala atra satakayanali etri muyanale avaratiri utri siti unta yakayatali etri esetikianali atra utri siti unti Ae kayanali etri uti e nalabara atra use utra hakayanali ete. Utra kayanali etri. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. I really hope you enjoyed this transmission. Take time to integrate, drink water, journal, pay attention to your dreams, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.